Hey, my name is Dale, and in this video, I'm going to show you how to create a professional e-commerce website using WordPress and WooCommerce. If you've been wanting to build an e-commerce store, but you've been feeling stuck, confused, or overwhelmed by all the tech, then this video is going to make your life a lot easier. I'll guide you through the entire process step by step, and I'll keep it straight to the point, so that by the end of this video, you'll have a fully functioning professional online store, even if you've never made a website before. To design everything, we're going to be using one of WordPress's most popular themes, and it's going to come with a lot of awesome store templates that you can just use Elementor to drag and drop and customize. Elementor is an awesome free page builder that you can use to customize any style of website you want, and I use it on all of my websites. And this website will be fully responsive, so not only will it look good on laptop, but it will also look good on tablet and mobile as well. Okay, if you're ready, let's get started. Okay, so the first step is to get hosting and a domain name. So hosting is just a server where all of your website files live. And this server is connected to the internet and it's running 24/7 so that anyone can access your website anytime. And you need hosting in order to own your own website. Otherwise, you'd have to build a server in your house and that just gets expensive. And like I said, it has to run 24/7. I really wouldn't recommend it. And of course, a domain name is just the URL that people type in to get to your website. And you can get both through Hostinger. So Hostinger is my favorite hosting company out there. I've tried a bunch. This is by far the best in my opinion. I personally use Hostinger for all of my websites because they're really user-friendly, they're fast, and they're reliable. And I also partnered with Hostinger to get you a special discount, which is going to be the biggest discount you can find anywhere on the internet. So to get that, just click on the very first link in the description, and that will take you to a page that might look like this, but it's a Black Friday sale right now. Normally the screen might be white, and you might see my face over here on the side, but right now I'm right down here. It is currently November 17th, which is why they're running this sale. So just go ahead and click the Claim Deal button. And that'll take you down here where you can choose a plan. So I always go with the business plan because with the business plan, you get up to a lot more websites. You also get a lot more storage, and it also comes with a free CDN, which really helps your website load a lot faster. But you can go with any plan that's going to work best for you. This tutorial will be the same for either plan. And you also get 2 months free with any of these plans. So I'm going to go ahead and click Choose Plan on the business plan. And here is where you can choose your billing cycle. So the longer months that you go with, like 48 months, is going to get you the biggest discount. But if you're not quite ready to spend all that right now, then my recommendation is to go no less than 12 months, because 1 month really isn't enough to even get sales on your store and really figure out if this is worth it. So my recommendation is anywhere from 12 to 48 months. For this tutorial, I'm going to choose 12. And it's still only $3.38 a month, or if you're not on the Black Friday deal while you're watching this, it's probably around $4 a month. And it comes with a free daily backup, a free domain name, free WordPress setup, and a free domain privacy protection, which is awesome. And just make sure that you're using the Create a Pro website coupon code, which will get you an additional 10% off of the already existing discount. And I recommend skipping the domain section right now because we're going to do it in the next step and it's going to be a lot easier. So just go ahead and click on Continue. And then just go ahead and fill in your billing address and then click Continue. And then just fill in your card details. I've already got mine saved, so I'm just going to go ahead and select it and then click Submit Payment. Cool, your payment's done, so you can just go ahead and click Get Started. Awesome. So from here, we're going to click Create a Website and then just click Next. And then we're going to be using WordPress, so we're going to select WordPress right here and then click Next. And here's where you can create your custom login details to your WordPress website. So I'm going to go ahead and select a new password. Cool, and just make sure that this is one that you're going to remember, and then go ahead and click Next. And then from here, we're going to click Create a Blank Site. Cool, so now the next step is to get your domain. So to do that, just go ahead and type in whatever domain name that you want right here, and you can see that we have one free domain available. So I'm just going to type one in. So I'm doing an electronics e-commerce store, so I typed in kovatechnology.com, and you can see that that's free for 1 year. So I'm going to go ahead and select that and then click Next. And then just go ahead and make sure that your contact details are correct and then click Finish Registration. Cool, so now just give Hostinger a minute to set up your new domain. So here you can just select whatever your target audience is. I'm in the US, so I'm just going to go ahead and leave it and then click Next. Cool. So now Hostinger is installing WordPress to your new domain name. So just give this a couple minutes. Awesome. So here we are inside of our WordPress dashboard. Now, don't be alarmed if you don't see the domain that you just purchased up here. This is just a filler domain, while Hostinger sends your new domain across the entire world. And this process is called propagation, and it can take anywhere up to 24 hours. Usually only takes a few hours for me. But don't worry, your new domain is going to update right up here whenever that's done. And anytime that you want to sign into your website to edit it, all you have to do is just go up to a new tab and just type in your domain. And then just do /wp-admin, just like that. And then this will take you to where you can put in your login details that we created earlier. And once you sign in, it will just take you back to your WordPress dashboard. Okay, so the next step is to install a theme. And the theme that we're going to be installing is called Astra. So to do that, we're just going to go on over to Appearance and then click on Themes. And you can see we've already got the 2025 theme, but we want to get a new one. So we're going to click Add Theme. And then just go up to the search bar and type in Astra. And you can see Astra right over here. And don't worry, it's not going to actually look like this. We're going to customize it using Elementor to make it look any way that we want. So just go ahead and click Install. And then click Activate. Cool. So the next step is to customize our website. So currently, if we go view our site up here, we'll open this in a new tab. You can see that all we really have is this one little blog post, and it doesn't look the way that we want. So let's go ahead and fix that. So with Astra, you should see a button that says Start Building Now. So we're going to go ahead and click on that. And that's going to activate our Starter Templates plugin. And Starter Templates is going to help us get an entire store set up in just a minute. That way, all we have to do is drag and drop, replace, and customize instead of building the entire thing from scratch. It's so much easier, and I do this with all my websites. So just go ahead and click Let's Get Started, and then just fill out your info, and then just click Continue. And then it's going to try to offer you some pro features. We're going to go ahead and skip that and just click Continue. And then we're going to say Build with Templates underneath Classic Starter Templates. Cool. So now a really, really important step is to click on the back button. Even though we've just arrived at our templates, click the back button. And then we're going to select Elementor. We do not want to do the block editor. We want to go with Elementor because that's going to be that awesome drag and drop page builder that I told you about, and it's so much easier. So just go ahead and select that, and that's going to bring you right back here. And now all the templates are going to be built using Elementor. So I want an e-commerce theme, so I'm going to go ahead and select e-commerce up here. And there are tons of awesome selections in here. And if you see a premium tag, that means it's going to be a paid theme, but there are plenty of awesome free ones in here as well. And the one that I'm going to go with for this tutorial is this one right here. So just go ahead and select it. And if you scroll down, you can see a preview of what this website looks like. And like I said, we're going to replace everything. I'll show you how to edit your colors, your fonts, your backgrounds, literally everything. So from here, you can change your font, you can upload a site logo and do your colors. But like I said, none of this really matters because we're going to change it all anyway. So I'm just going to go ahead and click on Continue. And you can add other features if you want. We've already got our page builder, which is Elementor, and e-commerce, as well as a contact form. But you can add other features here if you want, but I'm going to skip it for this tutorial. And just make sure that you've got Elementor down here, as well as WooCommerce. And then just go ahead and click Continue. And then just fill in your info. And I'm going to say that I'm a beginner and I'm building a website for myself or my company. And then just click I understand, let's go, and then submit and build my site. Cool. So now Astra and Starter Templates are setting up your entire website for you. It's really that simple. So just give this a second. Congratulations, your site is done. So now from here, we can just go ahead and click View Your Website. Cool. So now we've got a beautiful template in here that is just waiting to be customized. And like I said, I'm going to show you how to change text, backgrounds, add new products, literally everything. So let's get started with customizing with Elementor. So to do that, just go ahead and click on Edit with Elementor right here. Cool. So the first thing to understand about Elementor is that you've got all of your elements over here, and this is also where you'll edit them. And then here is just the visual editor, and then over here is just your layers or your structure. And you can close this structure panel by just clicking on this button up here, and that will toggle it on and off. So inside of Elementor, you've got sections, which is this thin pink line that goes around this entire background here. You can see that this is a section, the one below it is a section, this is a section. Basically anything with a different background is going to be a section. And then inside of sections, you've got containers, which are these gray dotted line boxes. And then inside of your containers, you've got elements or widgets, which you can see has this little pencil icon. So it goes sections, containers, and then widgets. So let me go ahead and show you how to create a new hero section from scratch so that you know how to use Elementor. So we're just going to go ahead and delete this right here. And then to add a new section, we're just going to go click on the plus button right here. And that's going to add a new section above it. And we're just going to click on the plus button again. But you can also do templates. You can ask AI to create one for you, or Starter Templates has their own templates as well. But we're going to click on the plus button. And then we're going to choose Flexbox. And then we're going to choose this one with 2 containers inside of it right here. So as you can see, this whole section is pretty thin. So let's go ahead and fix that. So to edit the section's height, we're just going to click on the 6 dots right here to edit the container. And then over here, you'll see minimum height. So inside of this whole box is where you edit each section, container, or widget. So with minimum height, we're going to change the pixels to VH, which is viewport height. And then we can go ahead and change the slider all the way to 100. And what that's going to do is fill the entire viewport with this section, which is what we want to do. So first, let's go ahead and drag in some text. So to do this, just click on the plus button up here to add an element. And then we're just going to grab this heading widget right here and just drag that right in. And I'm going to use this section to introduce a new product. So I'm going to go ahead and change this text, which you can do right here in this box, or you can just click right on the screen. And it's really that simple. So if you don't want this sitting all the way up at the top like this, just go ahead and click on the container, which is the gray dotted line. And then if you come down here to justify content, we're going to put that in the center. And then if you want to change the font and color of this text, just go ahead and click on it, and then just go on over to style. And then if you just come down here to text color, you can just change that to anything that you want. But I'm going to leave it black for now. And you can also change the font by clicking on typography and clicking on this little pencil icon. And then just change the family to whatever font that you want. I'm going to do Poppins because I really like that font. I feel like it works with everything. And then you can change the size of that heading right here, which is pretty cool. But I'm going to go ahead and leave it as the default by deleting this number. And you can also duplicate elements as well. So we're going to put another heading text underneath this by just right-clicking and doing duplicate. And then we're going to go over to style and then go to typography. And I'm going to change the weight of this font to something a little bit thinner. So I'm going to go with maybe 400, which is a normal font. And then I'll just edit what it says. And then I'll also make it a little bit smaller. So I'm going to go back to typography and then just change this size. Maybe to something like that. So now let's go up to the plus button and we'll just add another element. In this case, I'm going to add a divider. So I'm just going to drag that in right here. And what that's going to do is just add this little line, which really helps separate our content. So we'll just change the width over here and just drag that down. And you can also change the style of it. Right now it's set to solid, but you can do all kinds of different stuff like curves, or we can do arrows, anything that you want. But I'm going to go ahead and leave it as solid. So now let's just go up to the plus button to add another element. And we're going to drag in a text editor. And we're going to put that underneath. And then I'm just going to replace this text right over here. And these lines are a little too scrunched together, so I'm going to go ahead and change that with the typography. So I'm going to go over to style, and then go over to typography, and then we're going to change the line height down here. And we're just going to drag that up a little bit so it's spaced out more. And then I'll also change the font family to Poppins as well. Cool. So lastly, let's go ahead and add in a button. So we're just going to go up to the plus button, and then we're going to come down to button and just drag that in underneath. So you can change the button text right over here. I'm just going to say buy now. And then here is where you put a link to wherever that button is going to go. So you'd want to just delete the hashtag and then paste in whatever URL on your website that you want this to go to, maybe a specific product. But we don't have one made right now, so I'm going to go ahead and leave it blank. So let's change the style of this button. Let's change the color first. So we'll go over to style. So first thing to note is that you've got normal and you've got hover. So first we're going to change what it looks like whenever our mouse is not on it. So we're going to change the text color, and I'll just put that to black. And the background type, we're going to leave it as a classic solid color, but you can also do a gradient as well. But we're going to do a classic solid color, and we're just going to change this to maybe like a blue color. That's looking good. So now we'll go over to hover and we'll change that color as well. So for the hover, I'm going to change the text color to white. And then I'm going to change the background color, which is right here. I'm going to change that to maybe like a purple color, like this, so that whenever we hover over, it changes to purple. That way it's nice and easy to see for our customers. And you can also set a hover animation down here. So if I change this to grow, you can see that if I hover over, the whole button grows a little bit, which is really cool. And if you want your button to be a square instead of a circular button like this, just come down here to border radius, and then you can just increase or decrease that. So 0 is going to be a perfect square, and then increasing it is going to be more of a circular button. I'm going to do somewhere in the middle, like maybe a 15. And then you can change the size of the button by coming down here to padding. So if we just increase this, the button will get bigger. And these values are linked. So if you do want, say, a 32 on the right and left, but you don't want it on the top and bottom because it looks like a big box, just go ahead and unlink these values, and then we can just decrease the top and bottom values, like that. So I'll do somewhere like a 15 on the top and then a 15 on the bottom. And I think that's a nice size button. Cool. So now let's go ahead and add a background to this entire section. So to do that, just go ahead and click on the 6 dots for this section. And then we'll just come over to Style. And then you can see background type. We've got Classic, which is going to be a solid color, which you can change right here. Or we can do a gradient. So if you change it to gradient, you can select another color here like this, and you can just change the values down here like the angle, which is where the gradient will face. And then how thick or thin you want the feathering to be on that gradient as well. But we are not going to do a gradient or a color. We're actually going to do a video. So just go ahead and click on the video tab right here. And I've already made a video and uploaded it to YouTube as an unlisted video. And then I'm just going to paste in that link right here. Cool. So now you can see my video background is now playing. And all I did was just use this gradient and then put these headphones on over top, which I found on envato.com. But now our text isn't really standing out from the background. So I'm going to go ahead and change that to white. So I'm just going to click on it, go over to Style, and then come down to Text Color, and we're just going to change that to white. So I'm going to quickly do the rest of these in white as well. Cool. So now we can get a preview of what our website looks like without all the lines all over it by just clicking on this little arrow right here. And now this is looking awesome. This is a beautiful hero section that's showing off our top product. So to save your work, just go ahead and click on the Publish button up here. And that, in a nutshell, is how to use Elementor to customize your site. And you want to do the same thing for these sections down here as well. So if I want to change this section to maybe a black color, I just click on the 6 dots for that section, come on over to Style, and then we're going to do a classic background and then just change that color here. And then again, you'd want to change all of these to white as well. So to do that, just click on it, and this is going to be an icon box element. So we're just going to go on over to Style, and then we're going to come down to Content, which is our text, and then we're just going to change that color right here to white. And then again, with the description color as well, we'll change that to white as well. And you can change your icon color over here by just clicking on Icon, and then just change that primary color. So I can change that to maybe like a purple color, like that. And then you'll just want to do the same with the rest of these icons as well. So I'm going to do that really quick. And if you do want to change the icon itself, just go ahead and click on it and then go on over to Content. And then you can see the icon right here. If you just click on Icon Library, they've got a ton of awesome icons in here, and you can just search for anything that you want. So I could say money, and then you can see I've got money right here, and you just click on it and then that will insert it. But I'm going to go ahead and leave it as the default. And then in this section, you can see that we've got trending products. And this right here is an HTML shortcode. And what this does is essentially just link to your products page. So whenever we add new products to this, it will update in here and you won't actually see this gray bar. And I'll show you how to add products shortly. But I'm just going to go ahead and change this background. Cool. And if you want to reorganize sections, all you have to do is just click and drag and just place them wherever you want. And you can also do the same right over here inside of the structure window. So let's go ahead and click Publish. Cool. So now let's say that you want to add a whole new page to your website, like an About page or a Story page. To do that, just go ahead and click on the symbol up here, and then we're going to exit to WordPress. And then we're just going to click on the X, and then we're just going to click on this WordPress symbol again. So it automatically brought us back to our Pages tab, But if you want to get to that at any time, it's just right here, pages, and then you just click on all pages. So if you want to add a new page, just go ahead and click on add page. And then we can just give this a title like our story. And then you can just click on edit with Elementor. And then you can just go ahead and design an Elementor just like we did before. And if you want to get rid of the title up here, that's really easy. Just go ahead and click on this little symbol that says page settings. And then we're just going to click on hide title right down here. And then that will get rid of it. And then it's as simple as just starting a new section just like this and designing your website just the way that we did before. But I already showed you how to do that. So I'm just going to publish this and then we're going to go back to WordPress. So we'll just click on the symbol up here and then exit to WordPress. So now let's click on WordPress symbol again. And then we're going to come up here to our website and just click on that. So next I'll show you how to edit your header menu up here. So we're going to change the logo as well as our navigation menu. So to do that, just go ahead and click on Customize up here. And Customize is different than Elementor. So Customize is going to be your Astra theme settings. And that's basically just going to be your header and your footer at the bottom. Everything between them is all done with Elementor, but your header is done with Astra. So that's going to be these settings over here. So if we want to change the logo up here, just go ahead and hover over the pencil icon and click on it. And then if we come down here to the logo section, what we're going to do is just untoggle this little different transparent logo here. And now we're going to hover back over the logo and click on that little pencil icon again, because we want to use one logo throughout our entire site. So to change it, just go on over here to logo, and we're just going to click change logo. And then you can just go to upload files, and then you can just drag in your logo. And you can see here that this is just a white text logo on top of a transparent PNG background. So I'm just going to click on select. And then it's going to ask us if we want to crop the image. This is actually going to cut it off. So I'm going to say skip cropping. Cool. So now our logo's in here. It's gigantic. So let's go ahead and change that. We just do that by going over to logo width and then just drag this down. And I'll do it pretty small like that. And while we're here, we can also change our site titles. This is what it's going to say up inside the tab up here whenever people visit our website. So I'm going to go ahead and change that. Cool. So now that's updated right up here, and you're just seeing customize because we are customizing our site, but that will go away. So if you want to change the background color for your header, just go ahead and click on the back button, and then just come down here to transparent header. And we're actually going to enable this on the complete website. So right now we've got two different headers. So if we went to a products page, it would be a different header, but we want it to be the same one. So I'm just going to go ahead and enable this on the complete site. And then you'll see disable on. Just go ahead and click that arrow. And we are going to uncheck this for WooCommerce product pages. That way, whenever we click on a product, it's going to be this exact same header. So let's go ahead and change the background color. And you do that by just clicking on design. And then you can just come down here to primary header. And we're just going to change that. We'll do like a black. And you can see that that's changed to black. But I want it to be a little bit transparent. So I'm actually going to drag this slider here down to about half. And then I'm going to move this all the way to black, just like that. And then we'll just click on publish to save our work. Cool. So now let's go ahead and edit the navigation menu. So to do that, just hover over the pencil icon and click on that. And then you'll see a button that says configure menu from here. Just go ahead and click that. And then underneath primary menu, you've got primary menu right here. Just go ahead and click edit menu. And then here is where we can add items. So you can just click on the add items button. And from here, you can add pages, or you can do custom links, so to separate URLs if you want, or you can do posts, products, you can add specific product pages to it, or even product categories, tags, and so on. So with pages, let's say we wanted to add our story to that, you just go ahead and click the plus button for that, and then that will add that right down here. And you can see that it's now updated inside of our menu. And if you want to reorder this, all you have to do is just click and drag. And you can even put things underneath other items to make sub-items. So we could drag our story and put it underneath about. And then you can see that we've now got this little stair stepper effect here, and about now has an arrow with our story underneath it. But I don't actually want to add our story, so I'm going to go ahead and click on the X. Cool, and then just click publish to save your work. So now let's go ahead and change the colors of our links up here. So we want them to match our website. So to do that, just click on the back button, and then back button again. And then just come down to header. And then we're just going to go down to transparent header. And then just click on design. And then just come down here to menu color and you'll see text and link color. So we can just change that normal color to anything that you want, but I'm going to go ahead and just leave it as white. And then we can change our hover color right here. So I'll set that as maybe like a purple. That way it matches our website. So now let's go ahead and click on publish and then just click on the X and then just go ahead and click on the WordPress symbol. And the next step is to add product categories. So this will really help our customers sort through our products and will also show up on our homepage. So to do that, just going over to products, then we'll click on categories. And you can see here, if I just dismiss this, we've got uncategorized and indoor plants, which indoor plants came with our template. So we can just go ahead and delete that and then just click on OK. And then we're going to add a new category. So I'm going to put in the name here like headphones. And then the slug is basically what's going to come after our domain name. So I'm just going to do headphones here as well. Keep it nice and simple. And here you can choose a parent category. So if you were going to do, say, wireless headphones or earbuds, it would all go underneath the parent category of headphones. But we're just going to leave this as none for right now. And you can also write a description if you want, but I'm going to go ahead and leave that blank as well as the thumbnail. And I'm just going to click on Add New Category. And you can see that that was just added right up here. And I'm going to add another category because this company is going to sell computer mouses as well, or mice. So I'm going to go ahead and add mice, and then I'll put that here. And again, I'm going to skip the description and the thumbnail and just add new category. And you can see it was just added right here. Awesome. So next we're going to move on to creating a new product. So this is the exciting part, the best part of WooCommerce. So to do that, just going over to all products underneath products. And you can see that we've got all of these template products in here right now, and we don't need any of them. So we're going to go ahead and just delete them all. So we're just going to click on this button up here to select all of them. And underneath bulk actions, we're just going to move to trash and then just click on apply. And then you can also come over here to trash and then you can just empty that trash. Cool. So now to add a new product, if you didn't delete all of them, you'll see add product up on the top left. In our case, we deleted all of those products, so it's going to ask us what we want to add now. So physical product is one that you ship directly to your customers. Variable product is the exact same thing, but it's got variations like color or size. And then grouped product is going to be a whole bunch of products in one. But in this case, we're going to do a variable product because I'm going to show you how to change color and size of your product. So we're just going to click on it. So for product name, I'm just going to put in a pair of headphones. I'll do the Kova Echo headphones. And then if you want, you can also use AI to create your whole product page for you by just describing what the product is and then choosing like a tone of voice. But for this case, we're going to start one from scratch. So I'm going to come down to product description. And this is going to be your long description. So feel free to really describe the product here. You can also ask ChatGPT, but then you've also got a short description, which is going to be up at the top. So this is the long one. So I'm just going to go ahead and paste in what I want my product to be about. And I'm also going to add in some bullet points about my product as well. And you can edit this text with this menu right up here. But I like the default, so I'm going to go ahead and leave it and just move down. And I'll do the same thing for the product short description. So I'm just going to paste in a shorter version of what I just did, just like that. And now let's just move on up to the product data. So here you can add an SKU, which is just a stock keeping name. So this is going to be custom to you. So I'll just say Kova-Echo. And if you do have a UPC barcode or a GTIN, which you can get with gs1.com, you can put that in here. But in this case, this is a fake product, so I'm going to leave it blank. And then we can just check on track stock quantity for this product. And then you can put in how many units you have. So if we've got, say, 200 units, we'll just put that in right here. And then you can decide whether you want to do back orders. In this case, we're just going to say do not allow. And then you can also add a low stock threshold. So in this case, we might say 10. And then this will tell people, hey, this product is low on stock, order soon. So next we'll just come over to shipping. And here you'd want to put in the weight and the dimensions of your product. And this would be the entire package. And then underneath shipping class, we don't actually have one created yet, but I will show you how to do that. But we can create free shipping, or we can do, say, $10 for shipping on heavier objects, whatever it is that you want to set up. But for now, we're going to leave it blank. And then just going over to linked products. And here you've got upsells and cross sells. So upsells is if somebody were buying a pair of headphones and I had, say, a nicer pair, then I would want to put that in the upsells, and then you just search for your product. But again, we've only got our one product made so far, so we've got nothing in this list. And then cross sells is what's going to show up in their cart. So once they're about to check out, they will see other products that you're recommending in their cart. So that's where you'd search for these here. But first, you just have to create the product. So now we can move on over to attributes. And attributes help you not only describe your product, so if somebody uses the search bar on your website, they can find specific colors or sizes easier, but it also helps you create your variations. So for attributes, I'm going to do a color variation. So I'll do color, just like this. So I'm going to put in my specific colors here. So I'll do white, and then you separate with this little symbol here, and then you do blue, and I can do, say, pink and green. And you can see that I've got use for variations checked right here. So now I'll just click Save Attributes, and you can see that was added right here. So now just going over to variations. And then instead of adding them manually, since we just did our attributes, we can generate variations. And it's going to ask if you're sure. We're just going to say yes. And now you can see that that automatically generated all of my variations. So I've got all my different colors. So now if you just click on the edit button next to your first variation, you can do a specific stock keeping unit. You can set the price and the thumbnail, everything for each individual color. So for SKU, I'll do Kova-Echo-White. And then you've got regular price and sale price. So for regular price, we could say $299.99. And then the sale price will actually cross that out and show the sale price next to it. So I could say this is on sale for $199.99. And I can show you that if we just come up here and we click on Publish. And then we can just preview the changes. Now we need to edit our spacing and our image and everything, but you can see that we've got our regular and sale price here, as well as our short description, and we've got our color choices, which we've only edited one. So let's go ahead and add the rest. And then just go ahead and scroll down, and we'll come back over to variations. And if we just click on edit underneath our first variation again, we can also add our weight and dimensions, but these are all the same because they're just different colors. But you can also change your shipping class depending on which variation you're doing. But again, these are all the same, so it's going to be the same one. And then same with the description. So now let's go ahead and add our image. So we'll just upload an image here. And I'll just go over to upload files. And then I'm just going to drag in my image. Cool. So just select that. And then we'll just come down and we're going to edit the blue one as well. So just click on edit and I'll just change this SKU. And again, I'm going to do the same price. And then I'll just add in a new thumbnail. So I'll just go over to upload files. And I'm actually going to drag in all of my different colors right now because you can upload multiple images at once. So now I've got my blue, green, and pink here. So I'm going to select the blue. And that, in a nutshell, is how to change your variable products. So I'm going to go ahead and just do the pink and green really quick. Awesome. So now another thing to mention is that if this is a downloadable product, you're going to want to select that, or a virtual product. And we also, this is going to be one that we ship to our customers. We want to do manage stock individually on these as well. So I'm going to go ahead and click manage stock. And you can just put in how many units of that variation of the product that you have. And we'll also do a low stock threshold of say 10. And you just want to do that for each one of these products as well. So I'm going to just do that really quick. Cool. So now what we also want to do is add a product image. And this is going to be the main image that they see before they actually choose a variation. So I'm going to go over here to product image and just set product image. And I'll just select that same white one that we used and just set the product image. And then just click update and we can preview those changes. So just click preview changes. And now we still want to edit the spacing on this site, but overall this is looking a lot better. And if we choose an option, you can see that that image will then change, which is really cool. And then you've got the green. So while we're here, let's go ahead and edit the spacing on this page. So I'm just going to click on customize. And this is a single product page. So you can see I'm underneath single product right here. And we'll just click on design. And we'll just change that padding. So I'm just going to unlink these values and I'll do say 120 pixels. That way we've got a little bit of space at the top and it leaves room for our header. And don't worry, whenever you refresh, this little sale button will pop back down as well. So I'm going to just click on publish. And then we can just exit out of this and go back to editing our product. So let's just scroll down and continue in this list. So we'll just go over to advanced. And here you can add a purchase note for whenever somebody buys this item, which can just be any custom message that you want. I'm just going to go ahead and leave it blank. And then you can also uncheck if you don't want people to leave reviews on your site, but I do, so I'm going to go ahead and leave that checked. And I recommend leaving your menu order as 0. And then over here on the right-hand side, we can add a product gallery. So this is going to add more images to that product, which we definitely want to do. So we're going to click on Add Product Gallery Images, and then I'm just going to go to Upload Files, and I'll just add a couple more images of those headphones in the white color, which is going to be our standard color. Cool, so now I've got those 2 images checked, and then I will just select them. Cool, and you can see that those were added right here. So now we can also add this product to a category. So I'm going to say headphones, and then we can just uncheck the uncategorized. And then we can add tags, so this will really help people to search up this product. So we can say headphones, and just add that. We could say Kova Echo, which is the name of our product. We can just say Echo, whatever that you want to add. And if you are selling a bunch of different retail brands, you can add different brands on here, or you can just add your own brand on here. But we already know that this is our brand, this is our website, so I'm going to go ahead and leave it blank. Cool, so now let's just go up and update this, and then we'll just preview the changes. And you can see that that sale button has now been lowered down, which is awesome, and everything is looking good. We've got our different product images in here, and then we've also got our different colors here as well. And these are all working perfectly. And you can see we've also got our availability, how much are in stock. And if you want, you can change this button color pretty easy. So to do that, just go ahead and click on Customize. And first we'll go ahead and change the sticky buttons. Whenever you scroll down, you've got a button up here and that's green. So let's go ahead and go over to Design. And then you'll see sticky add to cart colors. You can change the button background right here. So we'll just go with a purple. And then the hover color, we'll just do like a blue. Just like that. And you can see that's now been changed. And then let's go ahead and change this one. So to do that, just click on the back button and then the back button again. And we'll go over to Global and then Buttons. And then you can change that background color right here. So just go ahead and select it. And we'll just do again like a purple color and then a blue color for the hover. Just like that. And it won't update right away, but if you just publish and then you just refresh the page, it will then be updated. There we go. You can see that's now been changed. And if you want to change how this says free shipping right here, let's say you're charging for shipping, you can just come down here underneath the general tab, underneath single product, just come down to the bottom, and then you can change that text right here. But I am going to offer free shipping on this product, so I'm going to go ahead and leave it. So now our product is looking awesome. So I'm just going to click on the X and then just exit out of this. And then I'm just going to go back to all products. And you can see that we've now got that one product here. And if you want to add more, you can just add a new product, or you can just duplicate this one. And then you can do everything that we just did for a new product. So I'm going to go ahead and add a mouse in here as well. And I'm just going to do that real quick. Awesome. So now I've added a few more products in here and I've changed their respective categories, price, and so on. And if we go over to our homepage, you can see that they're now showing up underneath our trending products section, which is really cool. But the thumbnails look pretty grainy and blurry, and that's a pretty quick change. So all you have to do is just click on one and then just go over to Customize. And then we're just going to click on the back button and then just come down to Product Images. And then you can just change those values right here. So I'll do maybe like a 900 by 600. Cool. So now those look a lot more clear now. So now just go ahead and click Publish. And then we can just click on the X. Cool. So now let's move on to adding our payment options for WooCommerce. So this will allow people to pay through credit card or PayPal or whatever you want. So to do that, we're just going to go on over to Plugins over here on the left-hand side. Just come down to Plugins and say Add Plugin. And then up in the search bar, we're just going to type in Stripe. And Stripe is the most popular payment method for WooCommerce. It allows anyone to just put in their credit card information. So you'll see payment plugins for Stripe WooCommerce right here. We're going to go ahead and click Install Now on that one. And then click Activate. Awesome. So now let's go ahead and get the PayPal one while we're at it. So we're going to go back over to Plugins and Add Plugin. And then we're going to go up to the search bar and type in PayPal. And then you'll see the same thing right here, payment plugins for PayPal WooCommerce. So we'll just install that and then click activate. Cool. So now that we've got both of those, we're just going to go over to WooCommerce and we're going to go to Stripe by Payment Plugins. And then we're just going to click on Settings. And you may or may not be asked to go through an onboarding process. You can just click the X on that and that will take you to this page. And here is where you can connect your Stripe account. So just click on Click to Connect. And then Stripe will ask you for your business details. They'll ask you to connect your bank account as well as how you want your payments to show up on people's credit cards. And once that's all done, you can just click on Agree and Submit. And after you set up your Stripe account and filled out all of your bank details, you can see now that our Stripe account has now been connected. So from here, we'll change the mode from test over to live. And then we can just test the connection right here. So we're going to click on Connection Test. And you can see that that connection was now successful. The mode is live. We're good to go. So now we can just scroll down and we can just save the changes. And now we can set up PayPal. So then we're just going to click on PayPal by Payment Plugins over here underneath WooCommerce. And we'll just go to Settings. And then same thing, we're just going to connect to PayPal. So we're going to select Click to Connect. And then you can just put in your PayPal account info right here. So now just scroll down and make sure that your changes are saved. And now we need to enable these payments on our e-commerce site. So to do that, we're just going to click on Payments up here. Cool. And then scroll down and we've got our credit cards by Stripe payment plugins already active. So that's good. And then we just need to scroll down and make sure that PayPal is set up as well. And this is all the way at the bottom. So you can see PayPal Gateway by Payment Plugins is inactive. So we're just going to click on Enable. Cool. So now that that's active, let's go ahead and add a product to our cart and make sure that these are showing up. So we're just going to go on over to our website. And then we're just going to scroll down and we'll just click on this one. And we're going to choose an option and then just add that to the cart. Cool. So now it's been added. We can just click View Cart and then we'll just proceed to checkout. Cool. So now we have our credit card section for Stripe and then we also have PayPal as well. So next, let's go ahead and set up our shipping rates. So this is going to be really important whether you're doing free shipping or paid shipping. So to do that, we're just going to go back over to the WordPress symbol up here. And then just come down to WooCommerce and we're just going to go to Settings. And then you can just go over to Shipping. And here we can add new shipping zones. So I'm going to click Add Zone. And you can add as many shipping zones as you want, like for United States or another country in Europe. But for this case, we're going to do United States. And then underneath Zone Regions, I'm just going to type in United States. And then I'll just select it right here. And then just scroll down and we can set up our shipping methods for the US. So we're going to click Add Shipping Method. And you can do free shipping, which you'll want to adjust your prices to compensate for this. You can do a flat rate or you can do local pickup, which most people will not do. So for this case, let's set a flat rate shipping method and we'll click Continue. And we can just call this maybe standard rate. And then for taxable status, we'll just change that to none. And then for the cost, we're just going to say, let's say $10. And then we'll just click Create and Save. And then we'll just click Add Shipping Method again. And then we can just do free shipping and then click Continue. And for free shipping, you can set requirements for this. So underneath the No Requirement, we'll just select that. And we can choose a minimum order amount. So let's say we can have free shipping over anything that's $100 in your cart. So we'll just say $100 right here. And I would recommend not checking Apply Minimum Order Rule before coupon. You want that to include the coupon. So we're just going to click Create and Save. And I recommend dragging free shipping above the standard rate shipping, because then when orders are over $100, it will automatically select the free shipping. So then we'll just save changes. So now we can move on to setting up our coupon codes. So coupon codes are perfect for when your store is just getting started or you're running a Black Friday sale, whatever it is that you want to do. So to do that, just click on Marketing and go to Coupons. And then we'll just create our first coupon. And let's say that this is a welcome coupon for someone's very first time on the site. We can just say welcome 10. And then we can move down and decide which type of coupon this is going to be. So from fixed cart discount, we can change it to a percentage discount. So this will be 10% off. So we'll just put in 10 right here. And then if you select this box, that will allow free shipping for that coupon code, but this is a welcome one, so we're not going to do that. And you can also set an expiration date by just choosing one on the calendar right here. And then if you go over to usage restriction, you can set a minimum spend or a maximum spend. So if you want the welcome 10 to only apply orders up to, let's say, like $100, then we can do that. And then if we select this box, we can make sure that they can't double up on coupon codes. So if they found another coupon code, they're not going to be able to use both at the same time. It'll just be this one. And then you can also exclude sale items if you want as well. And you can even add individual products or product categories or brands. But for the welcome discount, I'm just going to do it for all my products. So then we can move on to usage limits. So in here, you can set underneath the usage limit per coupon, how many times you want this coupon to be used before it's going to be void. And then here you can limit the amount of items that this coupon can be used for, or how many users it can be used for. So in this case, we'll just say 1 for each user. And then whenever that's all done, just go ahead and click publish. And now that coupon was updated and created. And we can test it just by going to our website. And then we'll just scroll down and we will add something to our cart, like let's say this mouse. So we'll just add that to the cart. And then we'll click view cart. And then you can see the coupon code section right here. So we'll just put that in and then click apply coupon. Awesome. So now you can see that that worked. And then it removed 10%, which was about $8. Cool. So now let's just go back to our website and click on it again. And lastly, we just want to make sure that our website is mobile and tablet responsive. So this is super easy. To do this, just go to your website and click on Edit with Elementor. So from here, you'll see that we've got a desktop symbol, a tablet symbol, and a phone symbol. So let's go ahead and edit for the phone first. So I'm going to click on that. And you can see that this is all grayed out and does not look good. And that's because this video isn't playing on mobile. So if you do want to fix that, you can just click on that container and just go over to Style. And then we can just say play on mobile and say yes. But it's kind of off to the side, doesn't look super great. So instead of using this section, we can actually trigger certain sections to only show up on mobile or only show up on desktop or tablet. So to do that, we're just going to duplicate this section. And you can see that now we've got an extra one added up here. So we'll just select this top one and we're going to go over to advanced and then come all the way down to responsive. And we're going to say hide on tablet and desktop. And we're going to make sure that it's showing on mobile. And we're going to do the opposite for the one below it. So for this duplicated one, we're going to click on it, go over to advanced, go down to responsive, and we're going to say hide on mobile, but only show on desktop and tablet. So now this one is the only one that's going to show up on our mobile. And this video is kind of off to the side, doesn't look super great, so let's go ahead and just get rid of that. So we'll just click on this section and go on over to Style. And then you'll see the video link right here. We're just going to go ahead and delete that. And then we're going to change this to gradient. And then we'll just select some gradient colors. So I'm going to do like maybe a dark purple like this. And then black for the bottom. And then I'm going to add an image of the headphones down here instead. So I'm just going to go over to add an element, and then I'm going to drag in an image widget. And then we'll just change that image. And then inside our media library, we'll just select that image. And now you can see that image has been added down here. So now let's mess with the spacing because this is a little too far towards the top. So what we're going to do is just select that whole section with the 6 dots. And then we're going to go over to advanced. And then we'll come down to padding. And you can see that anything with this little mobile symbol is only going to affect mobile. So if it doesn't have that, it's going to affect it globally. But with this little symbol, we're only affecting mobile. So for padding, I'm just going to add a little bit of padding all the way around. And then I'll unlink these and just add a little more to the top to kind of bring this down. Maybe like that. And you can also edit individual elements for mobile, tablet, and desktop as well. So if we click on the button, we're going to want to move this more towards the center so it's not off to the left. So what we're going to do is just go on over to Style. And then you can see position. We've got the little mobile symbol, so we're good to change this. And we can set center. And then that way, whenever we click on the desktop, it will automatically go back to the left. And again, this section is turned off for desktop, so you're not even going to see it. Your whole website will just start down here. So that is how to edit for mobile and tablets. You'll want to do the same thing for tablet as well. As long as it has that little symbol for whichever device, you're good to change it. So then just go ahead and click on Publish to save your work. And now we can preview our website. So just click on this little eyeball symbol up here. And our website is looking fantastic now. And I went ahead and just edited the rest of this website using Elementor. And it was really easy to just drag and drop and replace the colors and the text whenever you start with a template. So the last and final step is to get rid of the Store Coming Soon symbol. So what we're going to do is just click on that. And then we are just going to change it from Coming Soon to Live. And then just save changes. Okay, so that was how to create an e-commerce website using WordPress and WooCommerce. If you found this video helpful, please give it a like. It really helps my channel grow. And if you want more tutorials on how to build beautiful professional websites, please consider subscribing to the channel. And feel free to drop me a comment if there's anything that I missed that you'd like to see in the next tutorial. All right, my name is Dale from Create a Pro Website, and I will see you on the next video.